foods that destroy your gut microbiome. So first, emulsifiers. This is one that not too many people know about. It's added to improve the texture and the shelf life of foods. And unfortunately, it's found in a lot of our healthy foods like nut milks, salad dressings, and protein powders. So you want to look for ingredients like polysorbate 80, carboxymethylcellulose, and carrageenan. So those are all emulsifiers that tend to be very gut disruptive. And what these emulsifiers do is they tend to thin or damage that protective mucus barrier that lines the intestines. And then that sets us up for leaky gut and inflammation. The second food category is ultra processed foods. So these are typically very low in beneficial fiber and then high in food additives that are just very disruptive for the gut. These ultra processed foods tend to really feed the pathogens or the bacteria that drive inflammation in the body. Um, Number three, refined sugar. So pathogens or opportunistic bacteria, yeast, even parasites in some cases, they love sugar. So much so, they will send chemical messages through the vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve connects the brain with the gut. And they have figured out that for every one message from the brain down to the gut, there's about 9 messages from the gut back to the brain. And in the case of yeast or pathogenic bacteria, sometimes parasitic overgrowth in the gut, they will actually send messages to the brain for you to crave sugar because that's what they want to eat. So those sugar cravings might not be coming from you, they might be coming from your gut bugs. Number four, artificial sugar. So of course, we're trying to avoid refined sugar. We go for the sugar-free options, but we still have to be careful because things like saccharin, sucralose, and aspartame, they can be very disruptive to the healthy gut microbiome as well. Number five, preservatives. So these are antimicrobial by nature. So they help the food they allow the food to sit on the shelf for a longer time by inhibiting the bacteria or the microbial growth. So what does that do to the microbes in our gut though? So again, that can really be disruptive as well. Number six, food dyes. Food dyes tend to be immune stimulating and drive inflammation in the gut. Number seven, pesticides and herbicides. So glyphosate is the main ingredient in a lot of the herbicides that get used. And unfortunately, they're sprayed on a lot of the foods that people are eating every single day. So things like wheat, soy, corn, and legumes. And glyphosate somehow really targets the beneficial bacteria, it damages the beneficial bacteria and creates a situation where the pathogens, the bad microbes, the ones that drive inflammation, tend to really overgrow and thrive. So that's a really big one. And then finally, number eight, alcohol is just very damaging to the gut lining. It does throw those microbes out of balance. I tend to see yeast overgrowth when people consume a lot of alcohol. So those are the 8 main things that really disrupt the gut. Quickly, I'll just go over a few foods to focus on. So of course, you're probably guessing whole, minimally processed foods are always a good idea when possible. Increasing fiber can be really helpful. We have a lot of research now showing somewhere between 35 to 45 grams of fiber per day is optimal for gut health. And, the fiber feeds those beneficial microbes that do so much for us and for our health. Organic when possible, again, avoiding those chemical pesticides, herbicides, insecticides can be really helpful for the gut. And then when it comes to sweeteners, I do like to recommend just the more natural, minimally processed, like raw honey, maple syrup, coconut sugar, all in moderation. And then I do think stevia, monk fruit, I do think those can be fine in moderation as well. And then finally, just read labels. If, there's an ingredient that's difficult to pronounce, definitely question it. There's a good chance that's probably not good for your gut microbiome. So that's it for today. I hope you found this helpful and thanks for joining.